Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to those who are watching today's class. Welcome. Today we are here with the IELTS speaking class, where we will be providing opportunities for students to get live practice answering questions for the IELTS speaking exam. My name is Alex, and I will be going through aspects of the exam today, giving tips and pointers in terms of where we could improve our speaking performance. And I'll be doing that hopefully with interaction from those who are watching live today as well. So if you are watching live on YouTube or on Facebook, then let me know. Introduce yourself, let me know where you are watching from today and your name as well. And it will be great. There'll be moments during the class where I'll be asking questions, and I'll be hoping for participation from those who are watching. And it'll be great if those who are watching do participate and respond to the questions that I'm asking today as well. So I'm looking forward to that. So let's see who is in the class today and see who is currently watching us live. So I can see that within the class, we've been joined by Pinky, Eagle, Jesnin, and Alice. So wonderful to see you all live in the class today. I'm looking forward to doing practice with as many of you as possible. Also, I can see that watching us live on Facebook, we have Kelly, who is from Brazil. So welcome to you. A very warm welcome to this class, Kelly. Who else have we got in the class today? We've got Jessie that has joined us in the class as well, so that is great to see. And if you are watching live on YouTube, as I say, then do let me know. Do let me know your name and where you're watching from, because it would be great to welcome you into today's class. Okay, just make sure I've got my materials. So, as we're getting started up today then, as always, I do want to make you aware of the opportunities that exist to get more directly involved in what we're doing here at Swoosh and Connetics. And the way to do that is to get involved in our scholarship program. So you can see the banner going across the screen giving information as to that. But also, I would like to give you a little bit more information on this here at this stage of the class as well. So if you are a nurse who would like to work in the USA, then there is a fantastic opportunity to join us on our scholarship program. You can see that we are working here together, Swoosh English and Connetics USA, to provide you with the knowledge and the tips and the background necessary to be successful within the IELTS. You could join for this scholarship program potentially at no charge at all. All of this could be free. So all you have to do is click on the link, which I'll share in the chat box in just a moment, and click on the option Staff Nurse, and you can join us directly and get involved in classes such as this one, where you can do live speaking with me in order to move forward and boost your IELTS skills and move one step closer to that dream job in America. So if you would like to get involved in that, then do click on the link in the description. So has anyone else joined us in the class? Yes, they have. I can see we've got Zakia, who has joined us from Bangladesh, and also Tajul as well has joined us also from Bangladesh. So that is great to see. We've got some extra students that have joined us directly in the class today as well. I can see that Millie has joined us. So that's great to see you in the class today, Millie. Okay, so let's have a look then at some speaking tips now. That's what I like to focus on at the beginning of the class. And I'm going to share these with you just now. So one of the keys to doing well in the IELTS is to be able to demonstrate a good level of vocabulary and fluency and coherence. So those are two of the criteria that you'll be graded on in the IELTS exam. One way that we can show a good level in these two criteria is to use attitude expressions. So attitude expressions are expressions which show how we feel about a particular situation, and they can have a number of different functions. So one function of attitude expressions is to express positive feelings. So we can see the example here on the screen. Thankfully, I was able to get to class on time. So thankfully clearly is showing that you felt good about a particular situation. So adding that adverb thankfully just gives more information. It shows the attitude of the speaker. It shows a wider vocabulary, and it also makes your ideas more coherent because it demonstrates to the examiner why you're saying what you're saying, what the purpose is of saying what you're saying, how you felt about the information that you're giving. So it gives extra information. You can also show negative feelings. So we can see that in the example here. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it to the party. Okay, so you're not just saying I wasn't able to make it to the party, you're also showing how you feel about the fact you weren't able to make it to the party. So this extra information really does help to boost the level of your communication within the context of the IELTS exam, and also, of course, within the context of using English more generally. Some more examples. So we can also use an attitude expression to show that we regard something as being obvious. For example, naturally, it was very cold during the winter. Okay, so that's an expression there which we'd use to show that this information is regarded as obvious by the speaker. Another function could be to show that we've made a mistake. So in this example, I did not get the result I wanted. Admittedly, I should have revised more for the exam. So here we are admittedly to made a mistake. It just helps to add that extra information, and it helps to confirm the attitude that we are expressing in this particular example. Attitude expressions don't just consist of one word necessarily. There are also expressions which can be of more than one word. So here we can see three expressions that I'm sharing with you now. What do you think the function is of each of these expressions? So let me know in the chat if you think that you know the answer to this question. What are we trying to express by using these particular expressions? First one, as luck would have it. The second one, all things considered. And finally, even more importantly, what are we trying to express, do you think, with these attitude expressions? So let me know in the chat box if you have the answer to this question. Just as you're thinking of that in your minds, I can see that we've got Shagahan has joined us. So welcome to you. Daboy has joined us as well from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So a very warm welcome to you. I hope that you enjoy the class. And I can also see that we've been joined within the class by Peter and Anna as well. So that's also great to see. Okay, so any thoughts on this then? What do we mean, or what function are we trying to express when we use these expressions that I've shared on the screen just here? So Alice says the first one may refer to an unexpected outcome. Yep. So referring to luck, something we didn't expect to happen. Absolutely. Good. Good observation. Any other comments on this? Jesse talking about destiny. Could be. Could be. So reference to luck. I think more possibly something that's unexpected. Because if you're talking about luck, that's almost like the opposite of destiny, isn't it? If something is destiny, it's meant to happen. If something's lucky, then you didn't expect it to happen. Good. Any other suggestions in terms of what we are trying to communicate with these expressions? Okay, so let's have a look at this then in a little bit more detail. So as luck would have it, yeah, absolutely. So to show something unexpected and also positive as well. So usually, so here's an example. As luck would have it, everything I revised for came up in the test. So usually it's a positive situation. It's not usually used to refer to unexpected occurrences that are negative. So that would be the function of as luck would have it. The second expression, all things considered. So this is to provide an overall perspective on a situation. And an example here, all things considered, I was very happy with my exam performance. Okay, so there are more than one, or there is more than one consideration to bear in mind. But when you look at something overall, you take into account the overall perspective, then you can give an opinion. And in this case, all things considered, the person was happy. The next expression, even more importantly, is to show that you regard something as especially significant. So we can see in the example here, even more importantly, I can now apply for my US visa. So this is to compare maybe with the previous sentence. So, all things considered, I was very happy with my exam performance, but even more importantly, I can now apply for my US visa. That's the most important thing, particularly in the context of the IELTS exam. And that's why you would use an expression like that in order to signal your attitude towards that particular piece of information. Okay, so let's have a look now then at some other examples. So here I've got some sentences, and we can add more information to these sentences by adding an attitude expression. So thinking about some of the attitude expressions that we've looked at in the class so far, or maybe adding an expression that we haven't used, it could be something new because there are a lot of these attitude expressions that exist. How could we complete the sentences on the screen? So note there's more than one possibility in each case, but what do we think? So let's just see if there are any suggestions here. Okay, if we've got any comments. I can see, by the way, that we've got Srihari has joined us from India. Very warm welcome to you, Srihari. So people still joining us in the class. So let me know if you have any suggestions in relation to these three sentences. Okay. Okay, so I can see a few coming up here. So for number one, Alvin says, unfortunately. Yep, absolutely, that works. Val, unfortunately or surprisingly. Yeah, good. Number two could be luckily. Yeah, absolutely, that's a good one, Alvin. Let's have a look at some other suggestions. So Alice says, unfortunately. Jesse, as usual. Okay, I hope that's not true, but yep. Millie, unfortunately. Alice says for number two, surprisingly. Jesse says, luckily. Jesnin also for number two, surprisingly. Yeah, good, absolutely. So more than one possibility for each of these, but certainly the ones that have been suggested so far are very appropriate. So here were some other suggestions. Oops. Yeah, so for the first one, definitely, I made a lot of silly mistakes in my writing exam. Yeah, unfortunately, sadly would be another one. I was still able to get the mark I needed. Definitely, luckily would be a good one for that, or fortunately. And for number three, what about number three? I'd say that it was definitely a successful day. Anyone got a suggestion for number three? No. Okay. Overall, good. Yeah, Alvin, overall for number three, definitely that works. Yeah, Jesnin says overall as well. Overall is a good suggestion, isn't it? So overall, or all things considered, was the expression that we looked at before, wasn't it? Or all in all would be another expression we could use. So yeah, a number of possibilities. So let's see during our speaking practice today whether you are able to use some examples of these attitude expressions in your speaking performance. So as I say, I do try to bring in new students as much as possible within the class. I can see we've got Millie with us today, who I don't believe has participated in the class before. So let me bring Millie in to start our speaking practice. Hi, you there, Millie? Are you there? Looks like you're on mute.
Yes, I'm here.
Hi.
I'm here. Yes.
You're there. Okay.
Yes.
There's a bit of
Hello?
okay,
Um,
sounds better now.
hello?
Hi. Yeah, you sounded a bit echoey.
Am I audible?
It's not great, I've got to say. Can you hear me? Okay, so I think Millie's having a few issues with her audio at the moment. So, are you there, Millie? Okay, we'll maybe come back to Millie a bit later. As I say, we do try to bring in new students as much as possible, so maybe a bit later we'll be able to go with Millie. Let me bring Jesnine into the class. Hi there, Jesnine.
Hi, Alex.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm sorry I wasn't able to attend the last week class because I've been very stressed and hectic because my father and my sister got infected with COVID-19.
Oh dear, I'm so sorry to hear that. How are they?
Fortunately, they're doing fine and
Good,
they are isolated from us. Yes.
good, good. Yeah, I hope they'll keep getting better.
Yes. Thank you.
Good. No worries at all. How are you keeping, Jessamine? Have you been looking after yourself?
Yes, I submitted myself while today for swabbing, and I'm still waiting for the result. Hopefully, I will tested negative.
Absolutely. And how are things going with vaccines?
I think here in our city, it's not that great because we have a very low supply when it comes to vaccines.
Right. That's the issue, isn't it? It's a very unequal supply across the countries.
Yes.
Okay. Well, Justine, we're going to do some speaking part one practice together to begin with. And
Okay.
so we'll have a look at some topics and see if you're able to use a variety of language in order to express your ideas.
Okay, I will try.
Okay, so let's see how we do. So for speaking part one, just for those who are less familiar with the IELTS, just bring that up now. So this section of the exam usually lasts between 4 to 5 minutes. It will begin with you being asked your full name and identification. You'll need to do that before the test begins. And then the topics for part one will include hometown, family, job, studies, and other questions. And what the questions will have in common is that they'll all be related to personal topics, asking about your situation or your country or your experiences. So let's have a look at the just a few tips here. So for part one, you should answer the questions directly. Don't go too far away from the question because you might lose coherence if you do that. But you should provide relevant development and detail where appropriate. So if somebody asks you to tell them about your favorite type of music, explaining why it's your favorite type of music, or what got you into the music, would be appropriate in that situation. So where appropriate, you should develop on your responses. Of course, you're going to be tested here on grammar and vocabulary, as well as fluency. So using linking expressions and natural pausing is important for that. Pronunciation is the other criterion which you will be tested on. So you should be using natural pronunciation and stress, and also variety and intonation as well. So these are all the elements that, of course, come under the speaking criteria. So the topic that I would like to discuss with you now, Jasmine, is traveling by car. So my first question for you is this: do you like to travel by car?
Yes, I love to travel by car when it comes to short distance places. But when it comes to long distance places, I felt dizzy from time to time whenever we travel by car, especially it is close. I am in a close area.
And how often do you travel by car?
Well, ironically, I don't have a car right now, but uh, whenever my colleagues offers a ride, so I grab the chance to travel by car. Especially we are placed in lockdown, so we don't have any um, uh, public transportation as of the moment.
Hmm. Where's the furthest place you've traveled to by car?
I think it was a couple of years ago when we had our team building. We went to Siargao. It is located at if I'm not mistaken, in the northern part of Mindanao. So I am located in General Santos City here in the Philippines, which is the southern part. So um, I think it was 100 miles away from our city, and it is a very stressful ride for me. It was
Wow. And
rather.
how long did it take? And how long did it take you to arrive?
I think we ride. I mean, we travel for almost 8 hours by night, and the driver is very experienced, and I think he drive for almost 100. I mean, 50 to 80 kilometers per hour. So it was quite very fast.
And do you prefer to be the driver on long distance journeys or the passenger?
Uh, for now, I'll be the passenger because I don't know how to drive a car.
Fair enough. Um, do people generally respect road traffic rules in your country?
Well, as I observe, there are some people who observe a traffic rules and regulations, and there are also some individuals who don't follow these rules. So I think I'll go in. I think um, I I've observed that most of my fellow Filipinos don't follow these traffic rules because I think they are in a hurry. Most of them are in a hurry. Yes.
And finally, would you say it's safe to drive in your country?
I can say that it is also safe. Any part in the world is safe to drive as long as you observe the rules and regulation and you observe the safety, especially when you use the seatbelt and you maintain the speed limit. I think it is safe when you follow these rules that's stipulated by our government.
Good. Okay, thank you very much, Chesnine. Some nice use of language in there. So some good expressions that you're using, such as you're talking about people being in a hurry. Just at the end there, you're talking about maintaining the speed limit, which is a good collocation. You also, yeah, right at the end as well, we're talking about the rules that were stipulated. So some good vocabulary usage. Generally, you spoke at a good pace. as well at a natural pace. There was only one bit of hesitation when you were thinking about the
Yes.
expression public transportation. So
Yes, yes.
yeah, so if you're really struggling for an expression, it's better to paraphrase it. So if you were to say, for example, you know, traveling by bus or by train, for example, which is obviously just a synonym really for talking about public transportation, just giving some
Okay.
specific examples. So yeah, so if you find yourself pausing, just rephrase, go for a different expression, so that you don't lose marks on fluency.
Okay.
Just one expression used. You talked about long distance places, but we usually just say long distances
Okay.
rather than
Long
to
distances.
travel long distances. Yeah. And finally, so you used an attitude expression there. You used ironically,
Yes.
but this but this is often used incorrectly because um,
Okay.
yeah, not just by you, actually by a lot of native speakers. They say ironically
Okay.
when what they mean is unfortunately, because that's
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Mm,
Because irony is a little bit more complicated. If something is ironic, then it's something which goes against your expectations in a way that can be humorous or dramatic, or, you know, it's a bit more
oh,
complicated. But
okay.
a lot of people use it when they just mean unfortunately. Um,
Okay, okay.
yeah, or coincidentally. That's another one, coincidentally. So,
Coincidentally.
yeah, so we're talking about driving. So you could have said, you know, coincidentally, you know, we're talking about driving. I actually don't drive, or, you know. But yeah, it was good to hear you using the attitude expression. But it's just something I noticed, not just with speakers who are preparing for the IELTS, but even sometimes, you know, my friends will say it, and I'm like, yeah, it's not the meaning of ironically. So
Okay, okay.
if
Thank
it,
you, thank you. Thank you
no
for
worries.
correcting.
No worries. Of course, something to bear in mind is that if people use it that way often enough, then it will change its meaning. So um, that does happen in language. But yeah, thank you very much, Jesnine. Some very nice responses to the questions.
Thank you, Alex. Take care.
Thank you, and take care. And I hope your family recover very shortly as well.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks. Okay, so let's continue a little bit longer with part one, and I'm going to bring Eagle into the class. We've not seen Eagle in the class for a couple of weeks. Let's see how he's doing. How you doing, Eagle?
Hi, hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm currently at work.
Okay, okay. Has it been a long shift?
Yes, 12-hour
Mm,
shift.
that is intense. So you got a long break now to compensate?
No.
No, it doesn't work like that.
Yes.
Unlucky. Okay, Eagle. So we're going to move on to a new topic now, and the topic will be, if I can bring it up, it will be talking about your country. So let me just bring up these questions so I see them together. So first question I have for you, Eagle. Are you proud of your country?
Definitely, I'm really proud of my country. Aside from being one of the hospitable citizens around the world, and we have lots of different festivals that we can really proud and we can really show around the world.
Do you know the history of your country well?
Not actually. I am not really good in the history about specific like our country, but based on my understanding, so I know the fact that all the ancestors that we had before and are the former president that we had in our country, and their contribution to bring the freedom in our country. So I'd say all things are considered as those things happened in the past or something like that.
Which part of your country do you most like to visit?
Um, Actually, we have lots of good scenery and places to visit, especially in our season right now, the summer season. So one of the main place or that mostly the people go is in the Baguio City. So it is the good place that you can really enjoy a lot, especially in our weather right now. So that place is the summer capital of the Philippines.
Will you stay in your country in the future?
I think so. If maybe for a vacation, but right now I can see myself to live in abroad, especially the USA. But if I'm given a chance to have the more time to have my vacation, so I'd rather uh, to go back in my country.
Okay, thank you very much, Eagle. So, nice responses to the questions. They were generally appropriate. You gave a bit of development in response to the questions as well. You added relevant detail, and so you showed good fluency in doing that, and a good level of coherence as well. There was just one question that you responded to, which was, will you stay in your country in the future? And you said yes, maybe for a vacation. But then that's not the correct words. If you stay in a country, it means to live. If you go for a vacation, that will just be to visit.
Okay.
So yeah, just bear that in mind. So you used a bit of attitude expression as well. You know, definitely to show obviously that you felt very confident about your feelings on your country. But there were just some slips in expression that I want to cover with you. So you said we can really proud at one stage. But we didn't use the main verb, so we can be really proud
Okay.
is what you want to say, yeah. And it's always proud of as well. So proud of the country, as you can see in the question. Also, you said I can see myself to live abroad, but if you use the expression I can see myself, which is a good expression, it's with the gerund. So I can see myself living abroad is what you'd want to use there.
Okay.
Yeah. And also, you said at one point, I'd rather to go back in my country. But again, I'd rather, you don't use rather with to. Yeah, I'd rather go back to my country in that case. So yeah, just be careful with the verb forms because there were a few errors there.
Okay.
Yeah, but overall it was good, and pronunciation was accurate throughout as well. So a lot of positive elements to the speaking as well.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Eagle. Okay, so we're going to move on to do more speaking practice. Just before we do, let me make you aware again, for those that have joined us a little bit later in the class, of the opportunity that we are offering today at Swoosh English and Connetics. So if you wish to learn more about how we can help you and you want to move closer to your goals of achieving the dream of living and working in the USA as a registered nurse, then join us here at Swoosh English and Connetics USA and join our IELTS scholarship program. You can find out all the information about this if you click on the link in the chat box, which I'll be sharing just now. And click on the option of staff nurse if you wish to apply for this. You could do all of this, by the way, for free. Okay, so let's continue then with our practice. And I'm going to bring a new student into our class. I'm going to bring Jessie into the class now. So let me bring her in. How are you doing, Jessie?
Hi, Alex.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm doing good. Thank you. How are you, Alex?
I'm doing well, thank you. I'm doing well. How's everything going with your country?
Well, yes, the cases have significantly dipped. Means I mean to say that the cases have dropped a lot, and
Good.
the death rate also comparatively it is reduced a lot. and the vaccination is on the run. So yes, so we
Good.
are all, yeah. So it's okay. Yeah.
I'm glad to hear it. Well done. Well done for combating it. Good,
Yes.
good.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to look at some practice together here, Jesse,
Yes.
and we're going to move on to speaking part 2 now. So let me bring up a speaking part topic that we can do some practice on.
Okay.
Just a quick introduction. So for speaking part 2, it lasts between 3 to 4 minutes. The candidate will be presented with a question. You'll have a minute to prepare, and then you should speak on the question for up to 2 minutes. And you should always aim to speak for the full 2 minutes. So let's have a look at the question. Okay, so can you see the question on the screen there, Jesse?
Yes. 1 minute.
Oh,
No.
sorry, I think we might have lost that. Let me just bring that up again. Never trust technology. Or never trust the people using technology. Maybe is more accurate. Let me just bring this up.
Must be that question was not meant for me. Give another question.
It just decided no, we don't want this.
No, that was not a good question for me.
Okay, here we go. Right, so here we are then. So it's here we are. We can see the topic is an activity. So Jesse, you have a minute to prepare, and then you should speak on this question for up to 2 minutes. Okay.
Okay.
Great. Okay, are you ready to begin, Jesse?
Yes.
So please describe a leisure activity near or on the sea that you want to try.
Hello.
Hello? You ready, Jesse? Hello? Okay, it seems that really this question wasn't meant for Jesse. It looks like we've lost audio. Hello? Okay. Maybe we can try and bring her back a little bit later. Let's bring in someone else who could answer this question. I'm just going to bring Alice into the class. Hi there, Alice.
No, it's okay. No,
Hi, Alice.
Hi, Alex.
How are you?
Hello. Fine, thank you. I'm sorry.
Don't worry, don't worry. So, yeah, we
Yes.
were about to get started with this question, and then I think Jessie had some issues with her audio.
Oh, yes, I noted.
Yeah. So, how do you feel about answering this question?
Well, I can give it a trial.
Okay. Okay. Do you want some time to prepare?
Yes, please.
Okay. You got some time now. Okay, so Alice, please describe a leisure activity near or on the sea that you want to try.
Well, this is an interesting and a tough topic, but I would, if given an opportunity to have sorry, let me start off again, Alex.
Okay.
It's a tough question, like I mentioned earlier, but if given an opportunity, I would wish to try out yoga because I believe that being next to the lake or being next to an ocean, it might offer an opportunity for me to be able to meditate. And during this meditation, it may be a very good way of relaxing my mind, especially if I have any plans to go on holiday in future, which I believe would be very, very necessary. And in my country, I guess that one of the areas that I would want to try out this activity, it would be in a place that we call Mombasa, which is very famous for some of these activities because we have a very big ocean that most people normally visit. What I would need to have with me as I travel to that place, I would ensure that I have light clothes. And of course, when I go out for this activity, I would want to have a nice kit that would allow me to stretch out my muscles so that I can be able to enjoy the yoga. I guess that from the ritual experience that I have doing this activity, wherever I am right now, it usually gives me a lot of relaxation, which I guess or believe that it would be more better if I was to do it be in front of the water or in a place whereby it's a bit humid. And this will also...
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Alice. That's great. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Good. So you, at the beginning, unlike you I could hear you were thinking, oh, I'm not sure exactly what I wish to express on this.
Sorry,
but
you got me off guard. Sorry, I was responding to an urgent call, so I actually caught off guard completely.
No worries, no worries. But we got there anyway. We got there. Obviously, you were talking about wanting to do yoga on the beach, which is really nice. As usual, some nice use of language. So phrasal verbs, it's good to hear you using those to try out the activity, which was great. You're talking about wearing, light clothing or light clothes, which was great as well. And you were giving a lot of descriptions of the activity. So at one point, you were talking about stretching. You said stretch out your muscles, to stretch out or stretching your muscles. Usually, to be fair, we'd actually say to stretch out without using an object. So I'm just stretching out, but yeah, or I'm stretching my muscles.
Okay.
But yeah, still there was some nice vocabulary there. You started off and you were saying it's a tough question. Some of the questions for part 2 will be more obscure than others. So it's good practice to be prepared for virtually anything. And in fact, the question that I'm going to look at later on is going to be quite a difficult question. So it'll be interesting to see how we deal with that one. But yeah, I think similar to before, Alice, I notice it sometimes with part 2 is that you do spend a lot of time thinking about what you're saying, which can sometimes slow down the pace of your speech. So it doesn't happen when we do part 3 practice, but with part 2, sometimes you do slow down a little bit, and so that obviously, if you are having longer pauses, that would lead to a lower fluency score. So I'd practice just maybe sort of trying to sort of increase the pace just a little bit, just so that you get to express more ideas, because obviously you've got that limited time. And you want to get a good variety of ideas in there. So it's not a major factor, but it is just something that I noticed. And yeah, also more better. Just be careful with that. The comparative. Obviously, you've got better, so we don't need more better in there. But yeah. Overall, really nice job, Alice. So thank you very much.
Thank you. I was very anxious for your information.
Well, I'm glad that you were able to get involved, despite being obviously having a phone call at almost the same time.
Thank you.
So
Thank
well
you for
done.
the feedback.
Cheers. No worries. Okay, so let me see how we are doing here. So I think, yeah, with Jessie, I'm going to try and bring Jessie back in because obviously she was almost going to answer this question. So let me see. Hi there, Jessie. No luck. Okay, we're going to move on to a different question, and let me bring Netra into the class. See how Netra's doing. Hi there, Netra.
Hi, Alex. Can you hear me?
Hi, I can hear you very loud and clear. Absolutely. How are you doing?
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, I'm
No.
good.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. You keeping
Yeah.
well? Keeping yourself healthy?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good, Netra. Say that again. Sorry. Yeah. Good,
Yeah. By the
good.
grace of God, only we are safe till now.
Good. Yeah, I'm glad. He's preserving you. So Netra,
Yeah.
we're gonna do some part 2 practice, and here is the question that I would like you to answer. So, can you see the question on the screen?
Yeah. Yes.
Perfect.
Yes. It's there.
Great. Okay, Netra. So you've got 1 minute then to prepare your
Okay.
response.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Netra, you ready to begin?
Yes. Yes.
Great. Okay, so please
Well, here I would
describe
like
your.
to describe my. Yeah. Okay. So, well, here I would like to describe my favorite curtain. Actually, it's difficult to describe that one because last week only I was actually surfing online and searching some good window curtain for my flat, because recently I have been shifted to another flat as I have got promotion at my workplace, and they have given us a spacious staff quarters, so which has got around 6 sliding windows. So I was searching online to get something new or some attractive colorful window curtains, and I came across on the Amazon online platform, and I saw few beautiful curtain, and out of those I choose one that was beautiful mingle of pink and blue color, and that design was literally so attractive because that was the unique combination, and the fashion how they have created that window curtain. Along with that window, means that curtain has a unique shape. Means apart from that simple curtain, it has unique frill shape design on the upper border and on the lower border, and it's really attracted me, and I was actually going to buy that particular curtain, but only in their stock only 2 curtains were there, and I was actually searching for at least 6, so
Okay.
that I can
you.
have that all windows can have the same color curtain.
Thank you, Netra. That's great. Fantastic. You were able to give so much information on the curtains. I thought this would be a difficult question, but not for you.
Yeah,
You had a lot
it
to
was
say.
quite difficult. What to speak on curtain? I was so confused.
No,
First time
you
ever
had a
I
lot
got
to say.
a topic like that.
Yeah. Well, this is it. Sometimes you can get some strange topics in part two, so that's why I wanted to practice this. But yeah, you dealt with it fantastically. So you had so much to say about it as well. Like particularly, obviously, this is something that you have had experience with. That's what you were describing. You're talking about getting, the sliding windows, buying them on the online platform. You were looking for the unique combination. You found the unique combination of curtains. Looking at the upper border and the lower border. So fantastic that you had all of this vocabulary that you could use on this topic because it was very much appropriate. So yeah, really good stuff, Netra. Like accurate language.
I was looking at that picture only.
And it gave you all those ideas.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, in the IELTS exam, you won't get any pictures, unfortunately. But it's amazing that you're able to generate so many ideas from that one picture. So yeah, that was really good. I think just only slip that I noticed is where you said that I choose one, but obviously it's the past tense, so it should have been I chose. That was the only slip that I noticed in terms of grammar. And I still think you were a little bit more natural, but I still think you could just slow down just a little bit, take a few more breaths as you're speaking, because you still have a tendency to go quite quickly.
Actually, I've been working on that.
Yeah, you have slowed down a bit. You have slowed down a bit, which is great. But I would still say just a little bit more, because the thing is, if you're speaking obviously quickly, as we said before, you don't get the full credit for your vocabulary, because the examiner may not pick up on everything you're saying because you're saying it quickly. So yeah, I would still slow down just a little bit more, but it's great to hear that you are making improvements with that. Thank you very much,
Thank you,
Netra.
Alex. Thank you for
Great.
the opportunity. Thank you. Yeah.
You're more than welcome. Okay, so let's move on then. We've got time to bring in another student into the class to do some practice. And I can see we've got Honey has joined us. We haven't done practice for a while, have we? Let me bring her into the class. Hi there, Honey.
Hello.
Hi, how are you doing today?
I'm fine. I'm on duty.
Okay. Well, a very warm welcome to the class. I think, have we done practice once before?
No, my
No,
first
this is the
time.
first time. Ah, well,
Yes.
in that case, an even warmer welcome. It's always great when new students get involved. So we're going to do some part two practice. Just let me know where are you currently? Which country are you in at the moment?
I'm from the Philippines.
Okay, that's great. And that's where you are currently living and working, is it?
Yes.
Great. Okay. Well, let's move on to a new question. And this question, which is coming up now, is about talent. So, sorry, let me go back. Yep. So you've got a minute to prepare. Sorry, I'm having a few technical issues today. Let me just see where we are. Okay. So the question is on social work, Honey. So you've got a minute to prepare for this question. Can you see it clearly on the screen?
Yes.
Yep. Okay. So you've got a minute to prepare. Then you should spend 2 minutes talking about this question. So you have a minute to prepare now. Okay, honey, are you ready to begin?
Okay, I'll try.
Okay, so please describe a person who loves to do social work.
Okay. I'd like I'd like to talk about social workers. I really don't know what social worker is, but I think for me, rescuers or the one who work in the ambulance are one of them because they're involved in the community. They rescue people from fires, accidents, earthquakes, and the like. Um, um, they love what they do because they are passionate about it. Um, they even though their salary is low or sometimes free of charge, they uh they just care about the people around them and um, they got their service. They give their service for free, or sometimes the people just appreciate them by giving them food or or token. So I look up to them because um, they risk their life just to help other people, and I want to be a part of them. So I me myself become a part of them. Um, I apply as a rescuers too, but it's just I I'm sorry, I'm so nervous. I'm I
Don't
look
worry,
up
that's
to
great.
them.
That's great. Thank you,
It's
honey.
my first time. Sorry.
No, that's absolutely fine.
Okay.
Well done for getting involved and for volunteering today. So yeah, some really nice stuff there. So you said right at the beginning you weren't sure exactly what the meaning of social work was. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so you gave examples. You talked about people that worked in ambulances and stuff like that, sort of rescue workers. So social work is a little bit different. If we look at the picture, we can see here that it's a woman who's helping a child. Usually it's people who work with those in the community. So people who maybe have had issues, it could be psychological issues, for example, or behavioral issues. They may work with people who require care or assistance. But if you're not 100% sure, then the point is that yeah, you want to talk about people who help others, and that's what you did. So it was a good strategy. So talk about something close to the topic, even if you're not 100% sure what the topic is referring to. So you did you used a good strategy there, because what you're talking about was similar to social work, even if it's not exactly the same. There was some nice use of language. So at one point you used the expression, you talked about the things they did, and then you used the expression "and the like," which was nice. It's a nice expression. And these are the sorts of expressions that you can use to give yourself, to show your level of fluency. Because obviously you were a bit nervous and there were times where you were hesitating, but if you can use those sorts of expressions to kind of link your ideas more often, then you would demonstrate a high level of fluency there. So that was a good example of it. And more examples like that would have been positive in the speaking as well. Yeah, some nice use of vocabulary at stages. You said to be passionate about it, passionate about something. That was nice. You said that you look up to them. It's a nice expression as well to use. But then you said, I want to be part of them, which isn't quite a natural expression. So what you could say there instead is that I would like to join their service, or I would like to become a part of that team. That's another way that you could express it. So yeah, that's just to make sure you're using natural expressions. And then at one stage as well, you said that they are free of charge, but I just changed that expression a bit. I would say they give their services free of charge, or they volunteer their services. That would just again be a bit more natural. So it's a nice expression, free of charge, but that relates to the service rather than the person. Your services are free of charge, as opposed to a person being free of charge. So I hope that makes sense, honey. And
Okay. Thank you.
good, no worries. And again, welcome, well done for getting involved for the first time. And I hope to see you in future classes as well.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks a lot. Okay, so that brings us towards the end of the class today. So a very big thank you to those who have participated, both directly in the class and those as well who have been watching live and who have been interacting during the class. I hope that you have found it useful. What I would like to do before we finish today is just to remind you one more time of the IELTS scholarship opportunity which we are offering at the moment. So you can join us here at Swoosh English and Connetics in order to get that extra support and development in terms of achieving your goals of working and living in the USA. So if you would like to join us here at Swoosh and Connetics, then click on the link which I'm going to share in the chat box now, and just click on the option Staff Nurse and you'll be able to take advantage of that opportunity today. So thanks once more to those who have been watching the class and participating in the class today. I look forward to the next class and doing some more practice with you in the very near future. Until then, take care.